Hi, Julia. Thank you for joining us. How are you? How's your summer been?
Oh, it's been really good, thank you. First of all, before we get started, I have to ask you, what kind of motorhome are you in? Because it's very lovely.
We're very lucky. We've got a Swift Kentucky 874.
Right, so
If
nine
can,
meter, 9 meter tag axle motorhome.
I love that. Nine, very technical statement. Tag axle. Okay, it means it's quite big, doesn't
It's
it?
a big one. Yes, there's five of us, so we need a big one for us
Oh,
and our
you
twin.
really do. Yeah,
Yes,
you
Yeah, and
really
our boys
do.
are teenagers now, so they take up a lot of space.
yes.
Yes, and I bet they drop their. Why is it the teenagers just drop everything on the floor? Even in motorhomes, it's just. What is that about children and clothes on the floor when they
Let's
have
clean up.
cupboards?
Yeah,
Well, I think it's something that happens to their DNA. They go into teenagehood and it kind of rewrites the DNA for a little while.
Agreed.
How has your summer been? I've seen you've been really busy on Insta. What have you been up to? Anything
Yeah,
exciting?
so we actually have had a lovely summer because for us, this summer has been all across the UK. We've been, well, Ireland and the UK. So we've been in Bantry Bay in the west of Ireland, where we've been staying with a really lovely relative of ours called Auntie Bernie, known as Auntie Bernie in the house. She's actually a cousin, but it's so confusing when you have so many family members.
yeah.
And we were very lucky to be able to stay with Auntie Bernie in her beautiful West Island location, which she runs as a sort of a B&B, and she let us have it. And we were every day, we were kayaking, we were finding new beaches, we were river swimming, we were cold water swimming in the Atlantic, along the wild Atlantic way there. So every single day was filled with something exciting. So the kids, I did not hear. I think I heard I'm bored once, and that was they weren't, but they need occupying all the time. They loved it. So we'd had 2 weeks in West Island and we had sunshine. There was even a day where we were on a gorgeous beach that looks a bit like one of the Cornish beaches. And honestly, it felt like we were in Spain or Greece, or it was stunning. And the kids again loved it. So we really, really were spoiled on that holiday. Then we came back, then we went to a place called the Broughton Sanctuary in Yorkshire, which is equally gorgeous. And again, we were cold water swimming. They've got a lake. They've got this gorgeous indoor swimming pool. It's the only healing hotel in the UK. They've got tennis courts. They've got an outdoor pool. They've got meditation rooms. They've got chanting rooms. They've got cottages. So again, spoiled staying in Broughton Manor, Broughton House, which is just a stunning stately home. So kids love that, obviously.
Yeah.
Very, very sport. They got used to that, to the manor board. And then after that, we came back and we were in Hampshire, and I was doing about 4 talks at Chris Evans's Carfest show. So I was there for work. We stayed in Camp Chris, which is brilliant. We were staying in some lovely motorhomes, and we were there staying in the motorhomes, and I was doing my work as well while we were doing Cuffest. So a brilliant summer, absolutely packed, non-stop. I need a holiday.
I've been of that feeling.
You know
Do
that.
you prefer a motorhome or a caravan? Have you got a preference?
I like the freedom of a motorhome.
Yeah.
You can literally decide where you're going, get behind the wheel and do it. So I love that. There's a lot, I mean, caravans are lovely. You get a different space, don't you, in a caravan, but you've got to be good at towing, and that's a skill. And I remember from my days as the former president of the Camping and Caravanning Club, they used to do towing courses. And but actually, not taking anything away from them, the best lessons I've ever had with towing come from my friend Matt Baker. He's being a farmer. He grew up literally towing. So he gives me, sometimes I go for little brush ups at his little homestead, and like, can we just do about 10 minutes? And he goes, oh, of course we can. And he just takes me around his little orchard. He's got a little mini truck, and he goes, that's it, you go left and it means you're going right, and you go right and it means you're going left. I'm like, what? I don't understand.
Spatial awareness doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
No, we also like the motorhome. It's the road trip adventure begins as soon as we hit the road.
Yeah.
And we think a caravan is better if you're going to go to a campsite for maybe a week and then explore that area in the car. So yeah, they've each got their purposes, we think, don't we?
Yeah, we've had both, and we keep coming back to motorhomes.
Yeah.
So
I mean, ultimately, the best thing about motorhoming, caravanning, even camping, is this huge freedom that you have and this access to the great outdoors, you can put a pin in a map and say, I want to go and explore that bit of the coast. And we're in the UK, I think we're all no more than 70 miles away from a bit of coastland. And we've got incredible forests, we've got peaks and valleys, we've got the Lake District, the Peak District, Dartmoor, New Forest, you name it. So many places to explore. And for me, obviously, I mean, Newsnight called me an outdoor evangelist. And I think that's probably true. I'm very, very passionate about extolling the benefits of the great outdoors. And I think by this free style of living, I think it's a really good way to get the younger generation involved in the great outdoors, because they all like a bit of camping, and motorhoming and caravanning, because it is adventurous and it is exciting. And you literally, open up and there you are in a new place and they're like, oh. And as I've always said, for children, if you say you've got a motorhome and then you keep a tent with you, for many children, that's their first taste of independence. You pitch up and you go, right, you can go in the tent outside, and they love it. And they genuinely think you can't hear them, see them, or anything. So it is their moment of freedom where they think they can get away with it all. And of course, they're under your watchful eye. But for them, they don't know that. And they are experiencing things, and it is their own space to take care of, put up the tent, bring down the tent, maybe even, do some cooking for yourself, go in the middle of the night, go for a pee, all of that stuff. And that's a really valuable part of a kid's education. It's a rite of passage, I think.
Yeah, when our children were very tiny, we had a caravan and we didn't go far. We went to a very local campsite, 5 miles from the house. And every morning, Steve would leave and go to work every day. And we were pitched up with friends. So it was almost like communal living for a period of time. The kids had such a great outdoors summer. They were filthy and they were tired, which for me is the two main things for a young childhood. For definitely.
And the other thing I would say about that point, that freedom that they have when you're living that kind of existence for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks or longer, the way they interact with other children, other young people is very, very different. And they do make friends with people, another like their peers, perhaps that they wouldn't have done in the school environment or ordinarily. And you see them, you watch them play and interact in a very, very different way. And that is something that's being discussed quite widely at the moment about children, their upbringing, playtime, outdoor playtime, too much time on screens and phones, and actually losing that skill set, that ability to interact, that ability to judge what's going on in a situation, which you can't do over the screen. You can't do it on Snapchat and WhatsApp. I completely appreciate that it's got many advantages and it's a good way to communicate, but there's a lot that is lost without that human interaction. And this world allows for that as well.
Yeah, all those social cues that you can't pick up through a screen. Yeah.
Isn't it? We talk to people about who've had a family upbringing, who've been brought up and going on caravan holidays and motor holidays, and they've got such the fondest of memories. And we've taken our children all around Europe where they can't even speak the languages, but they still will mix with other children. They'll play football, and it's valuable life experiences that we've given them, I think.
Football's an international language.
I'm so jealous of what you've been able to give your children, because you really are giving them the most important education. I remember when I was filming one of my series for ITV in Australia many years ago. It's about 5 years ago now. I think it was 2019, I think. Maybe a bit more, actually, because my little girls were more little, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I remember talking to lots of families. In Australia, it's not uncommon just to get in the car and drive for 9, 10, 11 hours because it's such a massive country. And people don't necessarily fly from one side of the country to the other. So they just get in the cars and they go. And a lot of people have motorhomes or camper vans, not even motorhomes. They're like small little cabins, trucks, and they've just built makeshift beds and all the rest of it. And they think nothing of getting in the car, taking the kids with them, and then going and trekking across Australia like that. And the kids are just brilliant. They know about map reading. They know about wildlife and nature, because of course it's such a nature rich country as well. And there's this real freedom, and loads of families homeschool in Australia, sometimes because there's no choice. Because if you live in an outback area or in a remote area, the nearest town, let alone the nearest school, can be hours away. So homeschooling is quite popular.
It is.
Not in my house. We lived the COVID era.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah. No, we've got friends who homeschool and I so admire them. I think they're very clever to be able to look at creating a broad curriculum and sharing that and coping with everything all in one go. I just
Not for you.
Not for me.
No, and no, listen, it's a real skill set. But what I think, what my point about the families that I met in Australia, some of them it wasn't sort of right, we're homeschooling our kids. It was just like, we're taking our kids on the road because we've got no choice, and for 2 hours a day we've got to do, here's the school curriculum, and then the rest of the time it's everything else we've been speaking about: social interaction, fixing the caravan, getting involved in that lifestyle, if you like, which is equally important, if not more important, than a traditional sit down at a desk and let's see what you can remember after 8 hours, guys. I mean, I was dreadful at school, so I'm all for expanding the brain in many, many ways.
As many ways as possible.
So we understand you've teamed up with Salop Leisure for the West Midlands Caravan and Motorhome show. Is that right?
Yeah, so the West Midlands Caravan and Motor Show is taking part from the 28th of September to the 6th of October. The tickets are free, so I encourage all of your viewers and listeners and all of your followers to check this out. And I will be at Salop Leisure in Shropshire on Saturday, the 5th of October, and I'm going to be there all day. I'm going to be doing a coffee morning chat. I'm going to be doing some healthy caravan style cooking with the chef known as Marcus Bean. Love his name. I believe he hasn't made it up. I think that is his genuine name, which is great. So Marcus Bean and I've sort of adopted a super healthy lifestyle in the past few years, and I'm really keen to encourage people who are in our lives and in this lifestyle that, you can eat healthily on the road. You can cook healthily on the road. It's not all about bacon butties and bangers and mash. Nothing wrong with that, but you can't eat it every day.
No.
We shouldn't all be eating it every day. So I think it's really important that we see that there are lots of different ways that you can cook. There are lots of different foods that you can prepare that are healthy. And of course, the other great advantage of motorhome caravanning living is that you land in a place and you can eat local. You can go to the farmers markets, you can go to the local farms, you can go to the local little market towns, and you can see what's on offer. And it's a real opportunity to eat local fresh produce. And that's the healthiest way of eating of all. And for me, that's part of the adventure as well. I love getting to a new place, finding out where the local little town or village is, and then, asking somebody in the know, right, do you go to the farmer's market or do you go to the butcher's? Where do you buy, there are lots of places that you can go and pick your own strawberries or go and collect your own fruit and veg, or there are honesty boxes where you can get the local honey. And I love that. And I think it's the healthiest way to really eat. And also, I think it takes us back to the way that we used to eat as families and as communities together, sharing food, sharing knowledge. And that's a really important part of our social fitness, that interaction that we have with each other to be able to eat that local food. So it's going to be I'm really looking forward to being able to talk about that with Marcus and do some demos. And I think we're also doing some fantastic interviews where I'm going to be in bed in various motorhomes, showing off all of the different quirks of those motorhomes. You guys have done it. You live it and breathe it. Certain motorhomes have different things that you love, and I'm going to be in various motorhomes talking about the bits that I like. And there are special deals and special offers. It's a real chance for people to buy motorhomes. Some of them have got fantastic discounts as well. So it's going to be really, really good fun.
I understand there's a selection of them that you've picked that will have an extra discount as well, your own favourite. So it'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
so that goes, I think what we're trying to do, we're keeping it a secret for now, but there are going to be Julia's picks and the reasons why I like those motorhomes, my favourite quirks, my favourite things. So yes, and it will be marked up as, Julia loves these three because, or Julia loves this one because, just to encourage people to go and have a little nosy. And I'm quite fussy as well. So, and I'm also a little bit weird. So there'll be certain things that I might like that people go, well, that's strange. Why does she like that bit of that motorhome? But it all makes sense in my head.
Absolutely. And the things we don't like as well, they can be very personal. We've got some strange things.
Oh, have you? Well, go on, tell us. What don't you like? What are the
Well,
bugbears, the pet hates?
many people like the fixed bed, and if it was just me and Lynds, the fixed bed would work. But
Yeah.
because there's five of us, we enjoy having the rear lounge and having two areas. So we have one area, the children can have another. So we have a breakout,
Or different combinations of children, depending on who's friends with who at that particular moment. Sometimes when you're traveling, you just need a little bit of space from each other as well.
Oh,
And to be able to provide that is so important.
yes,
I think so. And there's something else that I've got to tell people about when they're there at the West Midlands Caravan and Motor Show home. As I said, it's 28th of September to the 6th of October, and there's also a competition. You can go online, and there's a Julia competition, and you get a chance to win a glamping holiday at Love to Stay, a caddock barbecue, or £50 off at Love Plants. There's a voucher, a £50 Love Plants voucher. And for those of you who haven't been to Love to Stay, it is brilliant. It is such a great glamping site. You can rock up with your own motorhome. You can stay in one of their safari tents, or you can stay in many of I call them like their Uber lodges. They've got big barns, and they've got like these minimum barns, and they're gorgeous. It's one of my favorite places to go glamping, and they've got a cold lake that you can swim in as well, which is right up my street. I know might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I love it. But they've got they've got a brilliant adventure playground for the kids, and they've got archery, and it's just a really great place. So go online, and I'm sure you'll put details at the bottom of this, and that's the competition.
absolutely. Yeah, so 28th of September, so the 6th of October, and all the details are going to be on Salop Leisure's website, which is salopleisure.co.uk.
Yes.
And I'll be there Saturday, the 5th of October.
Perfect.
There it is.
Absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Julia.
This has been lovely.
Hasn't it?
It's been really good. And keep on motorhoming, guys. I'll keep on making myself happy with interspersing it with motorhoming, and you keep on motorhoming.
Thanks very much, Julia. All the best.
All right, safe travels. See you soon.
Then. Bye-bye.
Bye.